So today we're going to be looking at ponds and how you too can create something as beautiful as this in your garden. We created this pond only a year ago and look at it, it's stunning. It's really enhanced this corner of the garden and it's a haven for nature. So let's go have a look at how we build a pond from scratch. The garden we're in today started out as a real blank canvas. In fact, only weeks ago it was just one big square of grass. The thing is, it's going to be turned into the most amazing cottage garden with veg area, a wildflower meadow, and today we're going to be putting in a pond. We've got it all dug out and we're just about to line it and fill it with water. When you're digging a pond, the last thing you want is for it to be not level, because when you fill it with water, your water's going to spew out the low point and disappear off down the garden. When we're doing a pond of this size, we like to use a laser level, which is something you can hire in. However, if you're building a pond in your back garden, you might not need this bit of kit, and we're going to show you how you can do it at home. So all you need is a basic DIY spirit level and a lump of timber long enough to get from one side of your pond to the other. And if you put your timber rail across like that and then set your spirit level on, you can look at the bubble of the level and gauge whether you've got your pond level. And if it's not level, by lifting your timber up on either side, you can get the bubble level, and that shows you whether you need to dig a bit more or make your sides a bit steeper. Right, so now we're going to crack on and line the actual pond. The first thing we're going to do is put down an underlay that will protect the actual liner itself from any sharp stones or tree roots in the ground below. So what we've got is an underlay that's made out of compressed fibres. It comes on a roll and we roll that out across the pond. It's about 2 metres wide, so we roll it across the pond, we cut it off and then we open it out to that 2 metre width. We then move on to the next section of pond that needs lining with the underlay and we do the same process again. At this point, it's always a good idea to kick your wellies off and actually get into the pond. And just check that there's no debris on top of your underlay. Because if there is, when you put the actual liner in, it's going to pierce holes in it, and that you do not want. Right, now we're ready for putting the actual liner itself in. And what we're going to use today is a rubber liner made by Firestone, who actually make tyres for cars. Now all the equipment we've used in the pond today is available at lovegardening.com. Chances are, if you build your own garden pond, it's going to be much smaller than what we're doing today, and you will be able to fill it with your domestic supply. But the issue you'll have is that there's chlorine in domestic water systems, so you'll need to fill the pond and then leave it for a week for that chlorine to naturally evaporate before you even think about putting any plants in. There we have it, the pond's filling up nicely, and that has to be one of the most exciting bits of making your own pond. But for me, the next exciting bit is actually getting the rocks in round the edge, getting some plants in there and watching the nature around you move in. What we're going to do over the next few months is come back and have a look at this pond and see how it's transforming into a wildlife haven. So here we are, it's 2 weeks since we put the liner in, and how's that for a transformation? All around the edge of the pond, rocks have been put in place and the earth has been landscaped up. We've even got a few plants in. But what's great about this pond is only 2 weeks ago we filled it with water and nature's already moved in. We've got ducks coming and feeding on the pond in the morning. Water boatmen, water beetles and pond skaters are in the water, and we've even spotted a few frogs. Now how cool is that? What we're going to do now is we're just going to leave the pond to settle down, and in another few weeks' time we're going to come back and we're going to plant it, and that will be another programme for you to watch. If there's one thing that's going to demonstrate the power of nature, it's this garden. When we came here 6 months ago, it was just a blank canvas. It was empty. And now look at it. And it now feels like we're walking round an established garden, which is, quite frankly, awe-inspiring. I enjoyed following the progress of this garden from the initial stages where we dug the hole and the pond went in through to what we're looking at now, this established environment. I hope you've taken some inspiration from this, the way that nature's helped us, and maybe it's given you a few ideas of what you can do in your garden. If you'd like any help from us, any questions answering, then please get in touch with the media team at lovegardening.com.